Hey folks, Nick here from Another BookTube channel. It is July 4th, the most American day on the calendar, and so I'm going over the most American comic book that I have in my collection, the Marvel Treasury Special from 1976, Captain America's Bicentennial Battles, a Jack Kirby king-size spectacular. This came out the same year as the 2001: A Space Odyssey Treasury that Kirby did, which I made a video about, and I highly recommend checking that out. It's one of my favorite videos I've ever made. But this was in the honor of 200 years of America. So as you can see, it is we have a nice pinup on the back cover by Kirby with Captain America, Uncle Sam, and a bald eagle enjoying a 200th birthday cake. The Statue of Liberty as the cake topper. This is some really patriotic stuff, and it's a really fun book. The story is a little bit silly, but some great Jack Kirby drawings in there. Captain America, arguably one of his greatest creations. So let's just take a look. It's pretty long. Let's just dive in, and we've got great first. Our first, kind of pin up here in the credits page, where we're getting the chapter breakdown, where it says we're going to be reliving America's past with Captain America, the living legend of World War II. Into this project is edited, conceived, and drawn by Jack Kirby. So he's writing, he's drawing the pencils, he's editing it. Inks provided by Herb Trimpe, John Romita, and B. Smith. I think maybe Barry Smith. I don't know if that's Barry Windsor Smith. I don't know if that's too early for him. Not sure. But yeah, the setup here is that Captain America has been invited to meet with this guy called Mr. Buddha. I I don't know that they've ever revisited Mr. Buddha in Marvel history, but he's kind of like, I guess, some kind of magician or something. Honestly, when I was flipping through this, I wasn't reading it super carefully because, the story is just whatever. But it's just some great Jack Kirby images. And what the setup is Mr. Buddha wants to send Captain America through time to visit America at different periods so that he can understand truly like the heart of America, and reveal that to us all. So he's actually not up for it. Captain America is like, I don't want to play this game. My job, my duty is to serve my country, and my destiny is dedicated to that job. Good day, sir. But as he's leaving, Mr. Buddha sends him through this portal anyway, and as he's trying to get out of the building, he finds himself in these like MC Escher like hallways. He's getting turned around. Great, just action leap shot here of him jumping, I think, down. Yeah, just down an opening in the floor. And where does he end up? But in a Nazi building, a Nazi structure. And so he's starting to sneak around now, and he's going to take out some Nazis, try to get out of this place. And he stumbles into a room where someone's being interrogated. And on the page flip, we see that it is his old pal, Bucky Barnes, who unfortunately, at this stage in history, died in World War II. He was written out. He wasn't brought back until the 2000s as the Winter Soldier. So this is actually poignant for Captain America to be able to see Bucky again. And we got Hitler. Hitler's interrogating him. They're looking for Captain America or something like that. Now, Kirby has obviously a history with World War II and Hitler. I mean, Kirby was in World War II. He was a soldier in World War II, and Captain America Comics #1 that he made with Joe Simon featured Captain America on the cover punching Hitler in the face. And this was before the United States ever even entered the war. This was before the United States would even take a stance on the war. Jack Kirby was putting his stance down on the newsstands, having this American character punching Hitler in the face. So here he is. He's back. And with him is the Red Skull, one of Captain America's greatest enemies. And we get a fight sequence of Cap trying to free Bucky Barnes from the clutches of Hitler and the Red Skull. Great moment here where he grabs Hitler by the coat, takes his head, smashes faces with this other Nazi guy. I imagine that their faces are just shattered from that, which is great. They deserve it. Punch a Nazi in the face. That's your mission for the day. And he unties Bucky, and they make their escape through the woods. Get some leaping through trees, through the brush. But as he's trying to follow Bucky out, we get this zoom in because something weird's going on. Captain America has this weird feeling, and he's coming back through the portal, back to the present day, where Mr. Buddha is waiting for him. And they talk about how it was good to see Bucky again. It brings him a little bit of a comfort that Bucky is still alive out there somewhere in some reality. And as Captain America is leaving, Mr. Buddha places this symbol on his hand that is going to automatically teleport him to different times, against his will. It's just going to happen over and over again. So that's the conceit of the whole book. As he's walking through, trying to walk out of the building, sees this mural from the Civil War, and I love just the amount of black ink down here, just the heavily shadowed. I'm not good enough at determining who inked what in this. I know there's 3 inkers, but I really generally the inking throughout this. I like this page a lot. But Captain America comes out of the building, and he is on the streets of New York City, and he hails a cab, and as he's in the back seat of the cab, trying to get away, just trying to go home, or he's trying to get to a parade, rather. There's the bicentennial luncheon that he's going to be speaking at. As he's in the back seat, that symbol on his hand activates, and he's teleported through time again. And now he's in the back seat of a coach, a horse-drawn carriage. And he's back in the olden times, pre-revolution, or during revolution, rather, because who does he meet but Benjamin Franklin? Benjamin Franklin welcomes Captain America immediately in because he loves his uniform. He says, I know someone who's going to want to see that uniform because she's going to be inspired by it. And so he tells this kid, go get Mistress Betsy Ross. And so they bring in Betsy Ross, and she immediately mocks up a drawing for what will be the American flag, which is, too much for Captain America to handle. He realizes that, wait a minute, the first American flag copied from my, and he freaks out on these colonial people. And I love this dialogue. It isn't possible. It just isn't possible. I've been ripped off by Benjamin Franklin. Jack Kirby is a silly man, and he's not the best writer, but damn it, he's fun. He runs away from these people because he can't handle this time trip, man. And now he is in the 1930s when he lifts his head back up. We have a poster for a Clark Gable, Joan Crawford movie. Jack Kirby gets to draw some newsboys. The Newsboy Legion was a thing that Jack Kirby created as well. So very comfortable territory for him. And these gangsters pull up and take a newspaper without paying the paper boy his nickel. And this does not sit well with Captain America, who drags the guy out of the car, his head through the window, pulls the entire door off. This guy should probably be dead. But by doing that, it causes his friends in the car to just unleash a barrage of bullets at him and the newsboy. Cap shields them from danger. They drive off while the police show up to take advantage, to take this guy into custody. Great dynamic, just panels. I haven't been going over the panels like, spot for spot because there's too much to talk about. But I mean, there's not a boring panel to see. Even just characters standing next to each other talking. There's dynamicism. There's stuff going on. And I love this splash page here. And great choice of a title for the chapter, My Fellow Americans, because in this, Captain America is going to be interacting and meeting some Native American folks, some indigenous persons who are fighting against, the intruding white men, essentially. And they attack Captain America first because they assume that he's one of them, one of the enemy. But all he's doing, he just tries to dodge. He doesn't really fight back. He's just protecting himself. Great acrobatics, dodging these bullets. Great, the lasso around the ankle, which we could almost feel it being like tightened and pulled away, which we see here. And he's just protecting himself. And he meets Geronimo, and they talk about how he's there for peace. Captain America doesn't want to fight them. I am a man who seeks the rule of peace, and they see eye to eye a little bit. Geronimo is wishing that it could be like that, and this. I talked just before about Jack Kirby's dialogue not being that great, but I love this panel here specifically. But this sequence here, liberty or death, says Captain America. Those words are truly American, Geronimo. Sometimes I wonder how we can be brothers and strangers at the same time. And yet we are. We are Americans who must find each other and in doing so become as one people. And Geronimo's response, I love. Your words are leaves in the grip of the wind. Soon the bullets will fly, and it is the bullets which decide what is truth in this place. What a poignant line about how just like whoever controls the bullets, whoever has the most firepower, controls the narrative. They get to create what the truth is, and the history that we have is built upon us being the victors. So all of our textbooks, are written from the perspective of we won, and so we're not the bad guys. There's so much to that line. I love that line. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And Captain America is standing with the Native Americans as an assault comes from the Cowboys or whatever they are. I don't know, Confederate Army, and we get a great spread page here of a stampede, of Cap standing against a stampede. Look at how awesome! Just the horses in motion, in action. Jack Kirby's like horse anatomy, like his human anatomy, is super wonky, but they're horses. They're horses. This is a comic book. Just a ton of movement on the page, of having them staggered. It's very clear that there's depth here. Classic Jack Kirby, person in the extreme foreground to like set the stage. Foreground, middle ground, background. Excellent spread. And Captain America is trying to get them to stop their stampede. He's shouting at them, there's another way. We're all Americans. But this mystic symbol activates again. Captain America is teleported elsewhere to this collapsed mine, which this is a weird segment to me because I don't know if this is like a important American event or if this is just a random mine that has collapsed. But basically, Captain America helps these dudes out of this mine that collapsed. Pretty like okay. I mean, again, good art, but this one didn't really resonate with me after such a strong chapter. I don't really know what the point of this is, but we do get something cool after that, where he is teleported again to in the middle of a dogfight. He is now in an airplane, with guns. Love the panel. This splash page here. Anytime we have like machinery on the page is cool for to see Kirby do it. You got these big machine guns. Also, the depth of field of the way that the panel is drawing our eye like to this central point where we've got this in the extreme foreground. The bullseye kind of locks us in on Captain America's face, and then right beyond him, which is also having these lines draw attention to it, is this fighter pilot that's chasing after him. So great construction of a panel there. Your eye has a lot to take in, but a lot of it's really well constructed. And he is so now Captain America, in a dogfight, being chased by a German soldier in the air, does some fancy maneuvers. This is great. He goes down close to the ground, splits these trees at the last minute, tilts to the side. The pilot behind him doesn't make the same maneuver, crashes and explodes. Great wreckage from there. And once again, Cap is teleported back to the real world, our current time, where Mr. Buddha is waiting for him. And again, he's just trying to get this to stop. He doesn't want to do this anymore. He doesn't understand the point of it. And Mr. Buddha's not going to stop. He still has the mark on his hand. The mark's not going to fade until he completes his mission. So he's once again teleported into, this time, an underground fighting ring with some guy named John L. Sullivan. I don't know enough about underground boxing history to know the relevance of that. But I always like to see Kirby drawing, groups of people from this time period, from like pre-50s or so on, because they always have like interesting hats and different mustaches and glasses. He really has fun filling in all the details, and his crowd shots are always interesting to look at. The boxing ring gets broken up, and Captain America finds himself side by side with an escaped slave who is running away to the north. He's made it to abolitionist territory where slavery is no longer happening. And yet these bounty hunters are trying to trap him and send him back down for slavery. And Captain America is standing up with him to prevent that from happening. They've got, these bounty hunters have their guns drawn on them. They've got them outnumbered. But a kind boy from a nearby farm sees what's going on, grabs his rifle, and doesn't want to hurt anybody, but absolute dead shot, man. He shoots the rifle, one of these rifles, out of the guy's hands, causes a distraction, allows Captain America and the slave to fight back. Or the free man, I should say. He is not a slave, that's the whole point. And they get the drop on the bounty hunters. Great chaotic action as the fence explodes as they get thrown through it. Captain America knocking people out cold with haymakers. And Cap tells the man, one day things will be different. You'll both learn to talk instead of fight. Pretty optimistic. But, I mean, technically things did get better than slavery. I mean, they're still not fantastic, but, points for trying. They depart. They wish each other well. And we get another bit of Jack Kirby optimism here, where the man says, "Friend, I never heard that word from a white man before. It sounds good, friend. I hope your kind wins the war brewing in this country. Goodbye, Mr. Mask." Captain America says, "Not my kind, our kind, brother." And as they leave, we come back to that little boy that jumped in and helped them. Turns out his father is John Brown, who was a famous abolitionist and was active in the Underground Railroad, stuff like that. So pretty neat. I actually didn't know that. I Googled him because of this story. So good little piece of history to learn. Captain America making a getaway on a horse. And where does he end up this time? But at the base where they're testing the atom bomb, just in time for Oppenheimer. Where he puts on his goggles. He's going to watch the detonation, and ba-boom, we get a big old detonation. I wish it was a full page. Honestly, I think that could have been a little fun to see something like that, but kind of shades of his 2001: A Space Odyssey. Not too much detail here, just a lot of the Kirby crackle and some speed lines, but fun explosion, and it immediately goes into Captain America now in Chicago at the time of the Great Fire. This is a great panel. This is a great splash page of because you get Kirby drawing multiple animals. You get this guy carrying a dog. Captain America in the foreground. You get a vehicle. You get wheels, something moving. You get a building. You get structure. You get flames. You get sky. You get movements. Lot to enjoy on a panel like this. And now Captain America is just trying to help people, get away from the fire. They're all running. I love Kirby crowds. I love Kirby crowds. All of this, so much fun. He knows how to make things interesting. He knows what people would be carrying as they're running away. They're not just running. They've got their belongings. They've got these, big suitcases, and like this design. Like I've seen that design on old suitcases. It's just knowing what to fill in there. And Cap dives into the water to save this guy that he thinks he sees, and he's of course teleported. Before he can get there, has a very brief fight with a shark, which is kind of neat. Little weird maneuver, little awkward maneuver where he's swimming away and then very quickly, faster than a shark can swim, like whips his body back and just bonks him on the nose. And the shark's just like, "Hey, come on, man!" Like he's not even like too affected by it. He's just like, "Ow!" Yeah, Captain America runs out of air, and these divers find him and they say he's passed out. Let's get him inside quick. Passing out underwater is drowning. That's what drowning is. So Captain America should be dead here. He's not. These are some deep sea researchers that have rescued him, and he is once again, as he's saying his thank yous, teleported back to Mr. Buddha, and that's just a little stop because he's going back out now to the moon. So we got Captain America on the moon, a bit of a crossover with Captain America in 2001: A Space Odyssey. Love to see it. But he's on the moon, and he's immediately attacked by these people with guns. So this is like a future where the moon is colonized because America just keeps going out there. But luckily, he's got his trusty shield out there. Cool. I feel like this is a really cool image of just kind of spaceman astronaut, but with Captain America's shield. So you still know that it's him. And the vehicle that the attackers were in crashes into a crater. He goes to look at them. And as he's looking inside, we get this transition where he's kind of fading away. And we keep it with this circle theme, and then we're fading back in. He's no longer in a spacesuit. He's transitioned now to be in front of a movie camera. Captain America, the movie star. He is in the golden age of Hollywood, and he's wandered onto set. People are upset. Hey, get out of here. This is a foreign language picture. You're dressed all wrong. You're not right for this. So Kirby gets to draw some fun outfits. A little Roman centurion here, another cowboy. And Captain America is picked up by a fast-talking producer. Says, "I got the perfect place for you. We're going to put you in the big finale. Come on in." He walks him in to this, I guess, just a war musical that they're working on. And they stick him right in the center of it all. And we get some of the classic Jack Kirby same face woman throughout all of this, which is really uncanny and spooky. As great as Jack Kirby is, those faces can really look frightening. Just the vacant eyes and the cheekbones, like the extremely defined cheekbones. But Captain America is not an immediate star. Everyone's yelling at him to stop moving around. You're ruining the shot. He doesn't like this. He doesn't like being the center of attention. This isn't what America's about. America is not about fame. So he's trying to get everything to stop. He's shouting, cut, and the lights go out. I love this panel. Just him starkly in shadow. Spotlight comes on, and it's Mr. Buddha. And Captain America's telling to him, look, this is a farce. What are we doing here? You're trying to get me to, find out the true meaning of America here. What is a movie set going to teach me? And so Mr. Buddha tells him, your trip is almost at an end. You got a few more places to go. You're at the steering wheel now. Like, what do you want to see? Like, where are we going? And they go to just a nice countryside. There's a man sitting on a porch playing a fiddle. And Captain America is saying, genuine folk music in a peaceful countryside, Buddha. That's America. I could stay here forever. And Buddha's like, well, that's really nice, but like, that's not really just like America. There's a lot more to it. It's not the truth of America. So let's go somewhere else. And they go here where they're looking in on a black student who is studying really hard. And they talk about how he is from the ghetto, and he's trying to make it. He's buckling down, trying to get a good education. He's using his guts and his brain matter to make something of his life, even though he didn't start somewhere with a lot of money. And they get Mr. Buddha says, you're getting closer and closer to the end of your journey. And so Captain America ends up here amongst a group of kids in the present day, and they run over to see him because they love him. They know Captain America. They want to talk to him, and they ask him what he's looking for. He says, I'm looking for something bigger than a supervillain, and I think I found it right here among you young people. And how it's a terrific feeling that we can become strong and smart enough to beat the overwhelming problems which every American has to live with. And the kids are like, yeah, we could be superheroes. And he basically tells them, yeah, absolutely, you can be anything that you want. And the kids are running. We even get a little girl here saying, yeah, girls too. Girls can do anything too. And you're right, they can. And we close with this shot of Captain America hugging a multiracial group of kids. This one's got a Thing sweater on. His last closing thoughts are, that's America, a place of stubborn confidence where both young and old can hope and dream and wade through disappointment, despair, and the crunch of events with the chance of making life meaningful. So pretty optimistic, pretty a love letter to America and what America can be, the idealism of it. We also have some pinups here, which are a lot of fun. Colonial Captain America with, I don't even know what this outfit is for the Red Skull. I thought it was the Pope at first, which would be really funny. I love the rootin' tootin' Western Captain America. Jack Kirby, also a great Western artist. I think he did Two Gun Kid for Marvel. And we get him as a spaceman on an astronaut once more. And we get a great back cover as well to close it out. So yeah, that is Captain America's Bicentennial Battles. I hope you enjoyed that trip through history with Captain America. Let me know if there's anything in this that you really enjoyed, if there's anything that I missed. Thank you very much for spending some time with me today. But now it's time to get back to reading.